interacting with Ross was a lot different than interacting with the other creators. Not because of, like, oh, he's way more famous, but he had more, I don't know, professionalism, I guess. With the others, it was kind of like, oh, these are my online buddies, and we're gonna, shit post or something, or we're gonna do this big dumb nerd crossover thing. But with Ross, it was clear he had a method. Like he knew what he was doing, and it was very, I don't know. He had an efficient process, and it was a job he was doing. He had done it for a while, obviously. Of course, by the time I interacted with Ross Scott, it was like episode 60 or something. So there was definitely a gap. It was surprisingly easy, which was really the main reason why I decided to do it. Basically, it started out, I would play through a section of the game and kind of act out the stuff I would expect my character to say, and then I would go through it again, recording it. And after that, I would just insert audio kind of off the cuff, sort of ad-libbed. And then I would throw it all together in, like, Windows Movie Maker back then. It was the most slapdash thing you could ask for, but it served. It worked, which was weird. Originally, it was just meant to be practice. At the time, I was kind of, dipping my toes into voice acting, and I was like, well, maybe I'll just do this for a little bit, give myself some practice. Yeah, and at the time, Freeman's Mind wasn't even that popular yet. Seeing Ross continue with into Half-Life 2 actually really surprised me, because I remember him saying he was not thinking about doing it for a long, long time. So when it finally showed up, I was like, oh, he's actually doing it. And then, I clicked on it just to make sure it wasn't an April Fool's joke or something, and it's like, no, he's really doing it. Crazy bastard. It was pretty easy to make the episodes. Yeah, not a lot of problems there. Obviously, the main problem was, and still is, was that I was, sharing, I was living with my family. So, of course, finding a spot or a time frame where I could, shout and swear and all that, and not annoy the piss out of everyone was really the main thing. Also, I'm 6'3", and most of my microphones do not reach that high because there's nothing to really put it on. So if I want to come in clearly through the mic, I have to basically sit down, which compresses my diaphragm and, makes my delivery really crappy. And I still struggle with that. Like, I could probably prop my microphone up on my computer right now, but it would still be awkward. What I need is an actual stand, which I never really invested in. Literally, the only equipment is just a microphone and a computer and the basic editing software that came with Windows and Audacity, which is free. Eventually, a friend gave me some more advanced video editing equipment, but honestly, I don't think I've made full use of it at all. It's still pretty basic. People apparently responded well to it. Mainly, it just reinforces what I already knew, which is that you can put out pretty much anything on the internet, and as long as you put some heart into it, even if it's terrible, people will still tell you you're amazing. I stopped making a Mind series because, well, Opposing Force was over, and there was no sequel. People keep telling me to do fan-made stuff, and I keep saying no, because there is no good fan-made stuff. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I mean, there's nothing that really fits the format. Like, there was, I forget what it's called way back. Uh, it has voice acting with, like, really bad voice acting with Barney and G-Man and stuff. And that was kind of dumb. I didn't really think that was something I was gonna do. And then there was Prospect, which came out more recently, and that would have been, I don't know, kind of. Well, I mean, obviously the canon is kind of bent over backwards, but also uh, there's a lot of like flashback sequences where nothing really happens except the color changes and you just hear voices. And I don't really know how to make that entertaining in a Mind series. And then, of course, there's uh, Hunt Down the Freeman, which is just garbage, just the worst. So yeah, unless I can find, I mean, I'd like to, continue the story, but as long as there isn't like I guess a worthy successor, if you want me to be snooty about it, which I am. Until then, my hands are kind of tied. It, joining the masterminds like it's some elite club, dude. It's just a bunch of friends online. That's really all it is. We met through the Mind series that we were doing, and that's it. That's it. We hung out, and people started calling us as kind of a you know a derivative group, but a group. I wouldn't say so much that we had an impact as we are the impact. Like we are the impact that Ross Scott had, basically. Like we're kind of a result of the inspiration that he created. Well, definitely the most fun I think I had was doing the crossover episode with Ian. Looking back on it, it was really hokey and convoluted and stupid, but it was really fun writing it because we would kind of go back and forth as our characters, just ad-libbing what they might say. Uh, I wouldn't be averse to kind of like a co-op Mind series. That might be interesting. I mean, looking back on it, there's so many, so many, so many things that I want to go back and just delete or change. Because so much of it was just not funny. It's just bad. It got, it improved over time, but a lot of it is just fucking bad. Oh, it's not good. I'm not gonna say it was a waste of time because it definitely wasn't. It was fun and it had its bonuses, but it's like, damn, I was a stupid, unfunny kid back then. I really was.